We wore the Wranglers, they wore the Guess and the Jabot jeans. Do you remember Jabot?
Of course.
Okay.
6 months down the road, honey, I've been lying. Eat up, kids. Was that, you were getting into that just to pay bills? Yeah, so you did other things. You did the internet marketing and then...
Yeah, and just realized I didn't want to go back into the finance. And at the company Orange Soda, I did telemarketing there. One of the things that I sold was website design. I, just from my own tinkering over the years, I kind of knew or figured out how to design websites. And I'd go back and look at these websites of the companies that I had sold websites to and thought, they're not really being taken care of. I bet I could do a better job. So I didn't steal anything. I advertised on local classifieds, and I found 2 customers that would pay me $500 to design a website.
Now, when you say local classifieds, are these digital at this point, or is this still just a print newspaper?
So this is going back 12 years ago.
Oh, okay. So these were online.
Not back in the Stone Age, like when...
Yeah. Believe me, they recently canceled my paper because they don't print them anymore. And I miss the smell of printer's ink and the stains. But yeah. Anyway, so you're running ads in the classifieds.
It was either like the local KSL or Craigslist, I don't recall.
Yeah.
But I got 2 customers that were willing to pay me $500 to design their website.
Beautiful.
And guess what? They were happy. They liked their website.
Imagine.
And I still had my job at this time.
Yeah. 6 months down the road, honey, I've been lying. Yeah.
That's in the movies. But
well, because you were probably doing it out of the house anyway. I mean, how do you hide that? Not going into work for 6 months, but I still have a job. So you told her.
I don't remember the sequence of things, but I remember the math that I did. I remember like looking at it and thinking, I think I made an average of $375 over the last month from my business. And that somehow gave me enough confidence that I could go full time. And I did, though. I succeeded. Like a month after quitting, putting all that time into selling websites, I actually got all caught up on my bills. I still had my credit card debt, but all my bills and whatnot, I was able to pay.
So the credit card debt that you had, was that, you were getting into that debt just to pay bills, or were you getting into credit card debt to have additional things and to provide? So
here's where it started.
You know.
I was never taught how to properly use credit cards. I was taught that credit cards can help you build credit, so I wanted to build credit. Before, when I was still a college student, I did summer sales. I sold the animated Bible videos, living scripture videos.
Oh.
And I did well. I'd made 21,000 my first summer, which was pretty awesome for a college student. And then I bought a car. The car was it was $8,000. I bought a Toyota Corolla, and I thought I could have paid cash for it, but I thought, well, I need to build credit, so I put half of it on credit card.
Yeah.
And then I was in an a cappella group at BYU, and
I knew that doesn't pay.
I knew I wanted to buy the sound equipment, this mixer, so we could have all 8 of our channels recording in and like be legit. And I didn't have the money to pay for it, but I knew that I was going to be doing this summer sales job, and of course I would make double the revenue the next summer.
42.
So
yeah.
So I put it on a credit card, and I think I did better in the next summer, but I only made like maybe 25,000. I don't know. Yeah. Something like that.
Now, were you married at this point? Before? When did you get married? After college?
My last year.
Okay.
Senior
so
year.
You were still just raking in this kind of dough as a single guy, right?
Yeah, yes, learning how to okay, I can make a whole bunch of money doing this, but now I've got credit cards and I can buy stuff whenever I want, even if I don't have the money yet.
And were you paying your own tuition as well?
My grandpa paid for that.
Oh, well, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so you didn't have that burden to worry about. But when you entered into the holy and sacred agreement to be married,
I did carry debt into our marriage.
That's what I was wondering. Is what was that? What did that look like for her? How comfortable / secure were either of you at that time?
She's very supportive. She's always been a believer in me. She's seen my ambition and whatnot. But having financial conversations were pretty hard, pretty stressful. So honestly, incorrectly, just for a long time kept her out of those conversations. I just didn't want, it's like on one hand I'm protecting her, but it was stressful.
Was she contributing? Was she working early on, or what?
Yeah, until we had kids. Timeline, I think we had our first a couple years into our marriage, so she worked as a CNA, a nurse.
So your kids then have known consciously, they're old enough to have seen both worlds, and you know, the world I'm talking about now is this world, the world we're in now, in this lovely
swimming in gold,
9,000 square foot home, one of a chain of them. So they're familiar with. I mean,
hope so.
You would
I
keep
hope
the
so.
struggles from them, and it wasn't like you were living in squalor either, as you were raising
I think
them.
about in my childhood, growing up in the neighborhood we did, I never thought of it as like a lower income neighborhood or anything. Our high school was mixed. It was West Siders were about 7 miles to Cottonwood High, and then there were East Siders that were definitely all wealthy. You know, we wore the Wranglers, they wore the Guess and the Jabot jeans. Do you remember Jabot?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jabot is made by Wrangler, I found out.
Oh.
That's why they're not around anymore.
It's
Anyway.
French, there's your bow. Like chérie. Yeah.
I lost my train of thought, so I don't even know
Well,
what we're
so
talking about.
you had kids from the was it forced integration, or was it just you could open enrollment, you can go wherever you want?
It was a very big school. The rumor was that it was originally going to be a community college, and they said you can either go to Kearns High School and junior high, or go to Bonneville and then Cottonwood High School, and everyone in our boundaries went to Cottonwood.
Well, yeah.
On the same note, even though that we had struggles with our kids, they've been very spoiled. You know, toys, Christmas, they've never gone without. You know, it is different now when we go to a restaurant, they can have whatever they choose. It's like if they want this, they don't take advantage of that. But
So they get to have dessert.
but years
Does
ago they
that
probably
feel
didn't.
like a full circle little baby Nate who didn't get to have dessert and now eat up, kids? Do you have to monitor the dessert intake, or is it just hog wild?
I don't know that we have the perfect solution. At home, everything is pretty controlled, but their favorite place to go is like Chuckarama or one of those buffet
Yeah, right. No, I
places.
know what you mean, yeah.
As long as they have a salad first, then they can eat what they want.
That's great.
Start with the salad.
No, it's good. A little bit of restraint, a little bit of health, and if you'll at least do that, Well, so we've leapfrogged a little and transitioned a little bit to now, and I think that's probably okay because we'll cover a lot over the next 6 weeks.
20 years.
Yeah, right.
I hated pulling the weeds, but you haven't really learned the discipline of money.
Yeah.
So 6 years plus the year of telemarketing plus these 8.5 years.
Do you find that through the freedom you're able to accomplish more, to be more, to personally develop?